Hey everybody, it's Thomas. Let's talk about some Blood Bowl League of Blood Bowl. We're going to go over what happened last week. We're going to talk about what's going to happen this week. It's going to be great. First off, we're going to start with my team. It finally happened. After being 10k short last week, I had more than enough this week to buy my Bloodthirster, aka Betty's Machetes. The Bloodthirster adds a lot to this team, aside from the fact that I get a 5 strength, 6 move allowance, 9 armor value, Juggernaut of punching. He comes with some of the best big guy skills possible. Horns, Juggernaut, Frenzy, Claw, Wild Animal is less great, but considering it's a hitting team, I'll take it. Loner is whatever for a big guy, and Regeneration. So Regeneration, armor value 9, strength 5 means that the Bloodthirster is very hard to remove if targeted. That's not to say someone like a Chaos team or Mark's Yeti can't claw me to death and make me sad, but I can do the same thing. Starting off with Claw instead of Mighty Blow is also kind of annoying, as Mark's Yeti will testify, but because I have Frenzy, it's pretty easy to just punch people over and over again. Horns Juggernaut means that the Bloodthirster really wants to blitz at all times. Having Juggernaut out of the box too means that a blitz is actually really safe, because the normal detriment of both down is just a push. Also means that if anyone gets stand firm or anything like that, I can just shove them way out of the way. Juggernaut is really, really good. Fend also doesn't stop Juggernaut, so if anybody gets Fend to stop me, well, I can always blitz them. So, the Bloodthirster also adds a lot of extra punching power to the team. Defensively, I'm probably going to leave him off the line, because why expose your big guy to pain if you don't have to? And offensively, he's going to be on the line for the same reasons. I will be using this guy to punch and do big guy things, but the Bloodthirster is especially important for a team that is otherwise weak babby sauce. Other developments. I managed to farm up level 3 on Wigs, and Socks, which is phenomenal. That happened a while ago, but I got Block and Guard, and more importantly, I've got all these pieces back. So I guess that's the bigger development, honestly. Valley of the Dorley's got a level up last week, so I got Block on this Bloodletter Daemon. Probably going to end up making this a Blodge something. It might become Ball Carrier eventually. We'll see. The rest of these guys were out, so I've got everybody back. It's pretty exciting. Got my Block Niggling Injury Pit Fighter calls out, which is really exciting as well. I did lose Earth, Wind, and Tires, which means that just won't be able to get level 2 with that piece, which isn't the end of the world, since I want to get touchdowns with Stickers for Men, and probably need to get Yes Wire Hangers up as well. Lots of SPP needs to go to these guys. If I get a touchback, it's going to go to the Bloodthirster, all that fun stuff. But yeah, the team's coming right along. I am going to have 11 players this week, so I'll be pumped to not have a mercenary for once. Yeah, 50k, I'm pretty much going to save it for Bloodletter Daemon number 4, and then start filling out with Pitfighter Cultists. But another week, more fan factor. Let's talk about how I did. I pulled out a tie, which I was shocked. The Minotaur went to town on me. As you can see, 3 casualties dealt. Those pretty much all went to the Minotaur, I think. I dealt 1 casualty in return. We both got a touchdown. So better week for Grey Duck with 9, 12, 14 SPP, whereas I walk away with a very sad 10. But it's not that bad, actually, considering how many pieces I was down. And I got really lucky that my MVP didn't go to a loner as well. So all in all, a great week for me. I'm shocked I got a tie. Game was basically defined by the Minotaur moving a bunch of pieces early, and then me, when it was my drive, being able to pull report forces apart, do some slightly risky maneuvers to get a touchdown in the last second. I'm pretty happy about that. I did not expect to even come close to winning this game, so a tie is out of sight. It's incredible, and I'm feeling really lucky. Got 60k for my trouble as well, which is what leaves me with 50k here. So fingers crossed, if I do well this week, I should be able to buy the Bloodletter Daemon for week 7 as well. But let's look at Grey Duck's side of things here. 50k for Grey Duck, so pretty good. Grey Duck's actually rolled pretty well so far this season. Only 1 week sub 50 is pretty crazy. Fame week 2 against Jessup. With a tie, she also picked up some fan factor. Got 2 levels up here. 1 on the Minotaur of Doom. Simone Sonic is now level 2 and got the level MVP, so actually pretty close to level 3, all things considered. Thick Skull, Mighty Blow, Horns, Frenzy, Loner, Wild Animal. I mean, this piece cries out for Claw because you can get it on a normal roll, and that would increase this piece's hitting power quite a bit against a lot of the 8 armor value things. Just being able to reduce armor further is really key. Arguments could be made for getting things like guard, stand firm, tentacles. Those are all good choices as well, but I think, I don't know, guard would be the only piece I would look at, or the only thing I would think about getting, honestly, that isn't claw, essentially. But I think claw is still the best outcome. This is assuming no doubles, of course, but pretty sure it isn't. Bobcat Plinth here, also got to level up. Could be a couple things here. Block is never a bad thing. Depending on how rushed she feels, she could also go straight into Mighty Blow Claw, but I think block is probably the safer option. She does talk about wanting to get an extra arms piece, a second extra arms piece as well, so that could be an option as well. I don't know. Ocelot Atlas here was out last week, so hopefully this week we'll be able to do a vanity pass or something. Actually, Ocelot Atlas being back means that both of these guys are probably going to level up if she has space to do vanity passing, since extra arms makes it a 2+ to do the catch, so that's what I'd expect. 80k in the bank still. She might want to consider buying another Beastman as well, just to help fill out the roster. Extra pieces are not bad at this stage of the game, as people are starting to get more developed and hitting gets more scary, especially with who she's got next week, but we'll talk about that as we get to it. Let's look at the other games this week. We'll start with the last matchup of the week, which was Dark Elf versus Undead. Zach has denied his first win yet again. Orville managed to hold it out. I haven't watched this game yet. If it's available, it'll be in the usual spot, but pretty good week for Orville. Nobody is missed next gamed, which is good. Rolled 60k, which is a pretty huge improvement. Dark Elves hitting above the weight class here with 2 casualties compared to the Undead team only getting 1. Orville lost a lot of pieces, he said. Looks like the KOs just didn't stand up. I'm guessing 5 KOs sustained. I'm guessing it was a failed dodge here. Yeah, 4 tackles. Not too good there. But great week for Orville. 3 passes, 2 casualties, and a touchdown. That's the most SPP I think he's ever gotten. Yeah, finally doing all the passing he wants to do, which is great. Yeah, that's huge. 15 SPP for Orville this week. Zach walking away with just 7. It's an Undead team. They're not going to develop that quickly, but still, you want to get more than that. Still, great week for Orville. From what he told me, he was able to score early on and was basically able to elf bullshit his way to stall him out, which is great. But yeah, no missed next games for Orville for the first time in as long as I can remember. He did end up hiring his loner, or one of his loners, who got MVP and I want to say an injury. There's no interception. Oh, right, no stats. I'll have no idea. Yeah, I would guess an injury and the MVP would do that. And I think this is a good choice. He does deny himself blitzer money. He rolled enough where he would have enough for a blitzer, but I think this is okay. The reason for this is because this loner has, or former loner I should say, because Avdahil, God, I wish you could change player names after you get them. Because he's a level 2, you can put a lot of things on him. Wrestle would be a really good call here. Because assuming these linemen can do more things, the better. So adding Wrestle adds a lot of variety to this team. Also, I mean, he's got 80k. If he does okay next week and doesn't roll terrible, he'll be able to buy a 3rd blitzer anyway. So I think this is fine. Certainly hiring more linemen is not ideal, but this team is going to need them. Runner, Witch Elf, Assassin, Blitzer. Well, 2 blitzers. I mean, he's going to end up firing one of these linemen eventually. And I think that's okay. Basically, the hiring the blitzers is still priority number 1, but I think it's okay. Well, yeah, I think getting both blitzers and then maybe look at reroll number 3. The elf team can survive on fewer rerolls. It's a bit risky. Enlin's actually almost level 3, and leader might be a good consideration here. If you can get leader on a runner, then I think you can put off getting the 3rd reroll for a lot longer. Let's take a look at how Zach did. Ghoul's got a miss next game here, so that's good. He did buy his 4th Ghoul, so good choice there. Money for the week, 50k. You know, aside from his first week, Zach has rolled extremely well. White gets a level up too. He took guard here and tackle here. I don't really like tackle on this White. Reason being that I think guard would have done a lot more. Yes, the mummies are very strong and can clear a lot of paths. This one having guard is good too, but you want a deployable guard that you can move around more. That's what this White offers up. So for sure I'd get guard on Fat Knuckles. Tackle just doesn't do very much. If you think about who has what skills in the league, here, let's quick jump out here. Skaven has some dodge in theory. Mark will have some dodge. I'll probably get some dodge eventually. You know, vampires will get some dodge eventually. No, I clicked on Zach and said Jessup. But yeah, Jessup will get dodge. Not happening here, barring doubles. And eventually, yeah, maybe the elf team is going to get that. But I don't know. I just think guard does so much more for this team. It's fine, I guess. I don't know. He might not have realized that. To be fair, if the witch elf was in play, tackle makes more sense. So I don't know. I don't begrudge it that much. I just think it's too early of a choice. Still, White's can level up pretty quickly. It's not the end of the world. No levels up on the ghouls kind of sucks. He needs these guys getting levels so they can start moving the ball better. And no injuries for Fat Elvis is also pretty sad. But still, not a bad week for Zach. Doesn't really need to buy anything. Although if he wants to, he could, in theory, kick Usain Bolt and hire another one. I think more realistically, you just don't want to do that. He's going to have 12 players next week, so still has plenty of bodies. Doesn't need to buy anybody. Could, in theory, pick up a skeleton or two, but look, hopefully gets lucky and kills people instead. All right, let's keep going here. Week 5. We've got Skaven versus Chaos Dwarf here. Went very good for Jessup. This game is kind of defined by Jessup getting better hits, basically. Andrew made some kind of weird positioning choices. I mean, this is one of those things where the score doesn't really indicate how close it is, but Jessup was a little bit luckier than Andrew and was able to pull him apart a little bit better. So Skaven hit very hard, 4 casualties, 2 touchdowns. A lot of this is the Rat Ogre, actually. A lot of passing as well. A huge farming week for Jessup, to be sure. 14, 17, 22 SPP this week. That is nothing to sneeze at. Only 7 for Andrew, which isn't too bad, but it's not great. Only 40k for Jessup means he's short money for his second gutter runner, though, and Balderdash 2 did not get 2 touchdowns. Second touchdown went to a lineman, I believe. Level ups, though, I don't know if Bullshit had... No, Bullshit didn't have level 3 before because he has 16 SVP now. So Claw paid off actually quite a bit. He chose Piling On, which I have mixed feelings on. The reason I have mixed feelings for it is based on how often Jessup is blitzing with the Rat Ogre, I kind of feel like Juggernaut would do more just to negate the both downs on people. Shove people more. With Frenzy too, Juggernaut is really good because it gives you a second chance to hit people and actually knock them on the ground, which is really good against people with block, which this league is going to have and does already have quite a few numbers of. I also don't like Piling On. I mean, yes, Claw, Mighty Blow, Piling On is the super powerful combo, but the problem is with Wild Animal, you're basically committing to either making sure that he's next to people every turn or blitzing every turn with him, especially if you pile on a lot, which Jessup likes to pile on constantly, which, to be fair, with Claw, Mighty Blow isn't necessarily a bad thing, but you're guaranteeing that you have to blitz with him every single turn or hope you get lucky. I also like piling on because he has -1 MA. With a stand-up, he only has 2 movement squares, which is not a lot. You have to hope your Rat Ogre is stuck in the middle of things. And honestly, if I see a Claw, Mighty Blow, Piling On Jerkbag on the dirt, I'm going to step on him. With 8 armor value especially, yeah, I'm going to get like 2 people around him and just step on this asshole. So I think it's a lot of risk. The Croc Score could go with it because he had 9 armor value. Thick Skull, I think. It just seems so risky with the Rat Ogre, and I think there was much better choices. I also think Claw was a mistake, so what do I know? Let's see what else we got here. He picked up Leader on Hui, which I think he might have had before, but I don't know if he actually had picked it by the time I looked at it. Either way, Hui's doing great. The way he's throwing, 9 throws. The way he's throwing, he's probably going to end up hitting level 4 before we know it, which safe throw probably is what he wants to look at next. Lots of choices, honestly. If he rolls doubles, there's temptation to take Mutation. With Sure Hands, especially Big Hand might be worth considering. But whatever, that's a long way off. We'll deal with that when we get there. Malarkey here leveled up and got Claw, because Jessup is apparently our doubles king this season. I actually like Claw in the Storm Vermin a lot. He's basically committing his team to do lots of smashing and then running, which is kind of a Skaven technique anyway, so I don't hate it, but it does commit him to the hitting game quite a bit, and without guard, he's going to find himself with a lot of 1-die blocks as the season progresses. won or red dice against. We'll see. This team is becoming more and more contingent on how well the rat ogre does, which I don't like. We'll see. I mean, the great part about gutter runners is they're great out of the box. So hopefully he can get some more of those. And much like Orville, as long as he doesn't roll a 1, he'll be fine. So good week for Jessup. Tons of SPP. His core hitting pieces are getting really scary. His linemen are just being stupid, which is fine. They're linemen. That's what you want them to do. As long as you can get some gutter runners, he'll be a much happier team. God, he's losing 2 gutter runners is never a good thing to recover from. Let's take a look and see how Andrew did and all that. 50K for Andrew, so not too bad. Bull Centaur going out again. -1 MA too is brutal. This was a double dead, so or it went from a dead to badly hurt, and then he didn't have an apothecary left over. So another week of Andrew with only having 1 Bull Centaur. 100K means that he's 50 away from getting the Minotaur, which is something I think you should absolutely wait for. Level 11 players too, so that's good. Hobgoblin got a level up. Smash Knee Hobgoblin. Couple choices you could make here. There are good arguments for getting Sure Hands. You also might want to get Wrestle. You also might want to get Kick. Probably not Kick. Kick is more of a, I think, later in development. But I would get Sure Hands. I really favor the Hobgoblin Ball Carrier more than I do the Bull Centaur Ball Carrier. Certainly you want the Bull Centaurs to get some touchdowns early on, so feeding them the ball is not bad, much like any high strength 2 agility piece. But long-term development, I think getting Sure Hands would be bad. That said, with niggling injury, it might be too dangerous, but still, it's, I don't know, that's what I would do anyway. Get Sure Hands. Arguments can be made for getting anything else. We'll see what he rolls. If he rolls doubles, then get Guard. God, get Guard. It'll be fine. Slows his full contingent of Chaos Dwarf blockers for next week, and probably is not going up against anybody with Claw, so that should be good. Alright, let's keep cruising along here. Where did I talk about that one? Oh, God. This matchup happened so early in the week, I feel like it happened last week, and I almost don't want to talk about it. A 3-0 for Mark. Again, Mark crushes an opponent, and boy did he crush his opponent. Chris ate a rock really early on. Rock was actually tied, but only badly hurt a lineman, stunned a lineman and badly hurt a vampire, which, I mean, Chris had an extra apothecary and blew it for that. I don't like that, but it's fine. Our death this week comes to be courtesy of Chris because, of course, in season 4, we can't help but have a death every single week. 10 casualties sustained, I think, is the tale of this game. Chris just got pulled apart, tilted a little hard, understandably so, and so ate a lot of casualties, but, God, Mark is becoming a wrecking ball, and he's getting fed a ton of SPP. It's his 3rd week of just a ton of SPP coming his way. 7 casualties, 3 touchdowns, a pass, and MVP. Someone needs to stop this man because he is insane. Mark has more SPP from casualties this week than Zach and Andrew have combined together. Oh no, they have 14 each. So yeah, Mark has equaled the number of the amount of SPP that Andrew and Zach got this week in his casualties alone. Thralls are squishy, but God, that is not good. So yeah, 14, 23, 24, 29 SPP. It's a league record, actually. And he rolled 70K on top of it because he won the fame roll. Because Mark gets all the nice things. So level ups here. Britta got an injury, but I think it's from last week. Other changes. I don't think there's any big updates here. And I think it's because all of the hitting went to Abed and pieces already have levels up. And this is kind of the sort of nice thing about how long it takes to get to levels as you progress. That more SPP doesn't necessarily help you, but it helps quite a bit. Abed is really close to level 4. I think our closest player to level 4. We'll see when we get to the Hall of Fame, I guess. But yeah, this team is gross. This team is just gross. That's all there is to it. Mark is rule number 3 as well. This team is gross. This team is super gross, and I hate it. I hate how gross this team is. MVP went to Starburns, which is the one saving grace I think we can all pull away from this. I don't know why Mark hasn't fired this player. He's got to go. He's got to go and be replaced. He's got 50K, so we could do that. Honestly, you might be better off just waiting and buying a second runner because they cost 90. And if he rolls okay, he should have that next week. He has real number 3 now, which is great. I would just pitch Starburns, though. Like, a loner is going to do more for you than this idiot is, because you don't want him getting SVP. Like, it sucks if your MVP goes to a loner, but at this point, your core pieces are so developed, it doesn't even matter. I mean, firing Starburns would leave him 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So he does still have 11 pieces, actually. So yeah, just pitch this idiot. God, get rid of him. You had to hire this loner last time, so you're fine now. Just get rid of this idiot. He doesn't do any good. Let's take a look at Chris's poor begotten team. Oh god, it hurts to see. Look at all this sadness. A lot of this is missed next game. This Thrall's gonna get fired. This Thrall's also going to get fired. Minus on MA. Missed next game at least. God. So the good news is, Chris has his 6 AV block guy for next week and 1 vampire. That's about it, though. Didn't lose a fan factor, which is good. This team is in a state, though. These 2 Thralls got to go. Loner Thralls will do more for him. It sucks because Colin has 5 SPP, but they got to go. They got to go. They're worthless at this point. God. I feel so bad for Chris because this is... I don't know. I mean, it's really terrible, especially because he's missing vampires, but I don't know. I want to say I did this, so he should be able to do this, but my linemen are much better than Thralls, so I don't know. He's got to buy some people for sure. I think you want to buy Vampire number 4 this week, just so you have 2. Just buy out, honestly. Buy Vampire number 4, fire these 2 Thralls, replace them with real people, and then this team is in slightly better condition, I guess. A lot of loners, one way or the other. He rolled 50, so it's not that bad. Oh, God. Yeah, I feel terrible for Chris. That's such a bad week for him. I suppose I should talk about how much SPP he got. I was so obsessed with Mark's ridiculous amount. Nothing. He got MVP. God. Terrible week for Chris, basically. It's a brutal shellacking of a game to watch, too. God. So, predictions. On the plus side, I was right here. I was wrong here, but I'm not unhappy about that. I was wrong here as well, and I think I was wrong here as well. I don't remember. I'm going to say I was wrong this whole week, though. So, whatever. Let's take a look at some rankings. Mark, with his crushing victory, pulls to point number 1. 1 league point away from, or ahead of Great Eck and I. The top 3 spots are very close together. A lot of clumping up here. Zach is still denied his first win. Hopefully that'll come pretty soon. But still, going pretty well for week 5 here, when we went on to week 6. So yeah, not too bad. Speaking of predictions and things, let's take a look at how the next week is going to go. We're starting off with Skaven versus Undead, which, I mean, I was shit-talking this tackle choice, but maybe it's okay. I mean, it's tackle is a skill you wanted him anyway, so whatever. I shouldn't have crapped on this, but still. So, let's talk about what we're going to look at here. The mummies, I think, are in slight danger of the Rat Ogre. I think first possession is going to be huge, and where Jessup puts his Rat Ogre. The mummies can definitely together beat the crap out of that Rat Ogre, though. Dirty player is going to come in handy here. Luckily, Zach likes to foul. So if that Rat Ogre flops on the ground, you need to get some people around him, and you need to use this guy to, or lady, whatever. Skeleton gender is kind of a construct to begin with, or more of a construct than it is normally. Either way, step, 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 crush, crush, crush. Let the rat eat the dirt. Arguments could be made for getting things like Mighty Blow here. Guard or Mighty Blow actually becomes very appealing. Guard or Mighty Blow would be good, actually. Mighty Blow is very appealing against all the 7 armor value rats. So in terms of team value, though, normal level ups and buys nobody. He'll be at 1100. If we look at... gotta scroll down now. If we look at Jessup, 1120. So nobody gets anything, which is pretty good. So pretty good matchup. I mean, the amount of claw on this team is probably going to be the deciding factor. We'll see. Undead should be a pretty hard matchup for Skaven, but as beefy as these pieces are, might not be. We'll see. I'm going to go ahead and give it to Zach. because Zach is winless. And if ever there was a week for Zach to win, it's this one. He's got a tackle piece to deal with the Soul Gutter Runner. As long as he positions safely, he'll be fine. If Jessup gets into a big pileup like he likes to do, this team is going to punish him for it. So let's say Zach will win. Sure. My prediction ratio is already terrible if I'm wrong anyway, so who cares? We've got Orville versus me for the matchup here. I don't like Orville's chances here because my team is so much more developed than his. Certainly this lineman helps. Having a wrestle piece, which is what I'm assuming this is going to be, or just another block piece will help. But the Witch Elf has had a lot of impact because of the ability to push people out. That's not a battle Orville can win with me. We'll see. The runner can certainly be annoying with dump off. This team is technically faster than me. But that said, I feel pretty confident in my ability to just mess these guys up. Not only does Orville lack any good way of dealing with my Bloodthirster, beyond him falling on his own face, I've got a guard piece, which is nice. I've got a lot of block. I've got a strip ball, which nothing's going to stop that. Got a fair amount of block here. Orville does not. I actually think 1, 2, 3, 4. So, well, the same equivalent of both now negation until you factor in Juggernaut that I've got all over the board. In terms of money, I've got 1330 because the Bloodthirster explodes my team value, reasonably so. To assuming normal rolls, 1110. So I'll be giving up. Oh god, I'll be giving up 210, which is a lot of money. Wizard can definitely mess me up. More rerolls will definitely help Orville. A lot of choices actually for Orville to take. Second Apothecary wouldn't be too bad either because my team is going to put on a lot of hurt. So we'll see. I feel like I can win this game, though. I feel like my ability to get the ball away is better, essentially. I don't think Orville can stop me consistently, and I think that I can get the ball away better. Elf screens are actually pretty not great against Khorne because of all the frenzy. Being able to shove pieces way far out of position is a really big advantage. So yeah, I'm going to say I'm going to win. I think I can do it. We've got Castorf versus Vampires. Oh god. So assuming normal rolls here will be at 1020 for Andrew. Where's Chris here? If Chris buys out, he buys a Vampire and 2 Thralls. Let's see here. He's missing so many pieces, it's hard to keep track. All right, let's do this here. So he's got 1, 2. He's got 5 pieces. Oh god, going into next week. If he hires 3 more, he'll need 3 more loaners on top of anything I add. So okay. So we add we're adding 190 basically on top of this. So 940, and then another 120. So 1060 for team value. So Chris is gonna get nothing if he buys out. I don't know. Maybe he doesn't even bother. I think he should. I think he should get pieces so they can get some sort of SPP on things that aren't loaners. So you have some hope of your MVP not going to your loaner. Because if you don't buy anybody, you've got more than 50% chance of that MVP going to a loaner, which this team needs a lot of stuff now. So yeah, I think Andrew definitely should win this game. Hypnotic Gaze can definitely negate the guard advantage. And certainly, if Andrew plays consistently and does okay on his rolls, there's no way he should lose this matchup. All this block is just so much to deal with. The Vampire team is not very fast. The Bull Centaur can easily break away if he gets the ball. Even the Hobgoblin can make an escape with good screening, or good caging. So I have no idea how Chris would possibly win this game. Yeah, if he had his Vampires, I could see it, but otherwise, I think it's just a losing proposition for Chris. Yeah, not great. But that said, I mean, it's possibly could at least tie or win. I mean, I did okay, so maybe. But like I said, my linemen at least have frenzy and 8 armor value, so there's that. Probably the title event, I think, of this week that I'm most interested in is Norse versus Chaos. This should be a pretty bloody battle. Maybe Britta will do some work here, but let's take a look here. 1360 versus, where are we here? Assuming normal level ups, 1270, so 90k going the way of Greyduck. Not a lot. That's kind of unfortunate because it's 10k short of getting something really useful. Still, babes are better than nothing. Things are gonna get KO'd probably. I really don't know what to say for this matchup. Mark has a lot of skills and a ton of block. On the other hand, what Greyduck has going for her is, aside from a superior big guy, just being much tougher than most of the people Mark has faced. I'm pretty sure, yeah, I think dwarves technically have more armor on average, but whatever. If Greyduck had more skills, I'd feel more confident in her ability to win this. Honestly, I think a tie is the most likely outcome. Certainly I could be wrong. Either team has enough hitting and removal power to, Mark has the removal power, Chaos just has 9 armor value and some 8 armor value, but how well Mark's Mighty Blow does is basically the big decider, I think. If Mighty Blow turning, Beastman armor value into 7, it does a lot of work, and he's got it on 2 pieces now. Could do damage, and again, Britta could finally not be a pacifist, and Claw could proc a lot and do a lot of damage. So we'll see. It's going to be a really interesting matchup. I'm excited to watch it. It's going to be a huge murder ball fest, and we'll see. It's one of those things where, depending on how well the blocks go, we'll see. If Norse can maintain the Norse advantage by just putting people on the dirt and limiting the number of blocks he takes in, he should be fine. But we'll see. The Beastman being able to blitz from the ground and having 4 strength means that Mark has to be pretty careful about how he hits people. So we shall see. Let's take a look at the Hall of Fame here. Most player, yeah, is definitely Abed. A lot of people still really close to level 3 here, and a couple people getting close to level 4. So pretty interested to see how we go after next week. Best score, not surprising to see Mark up here because, he's gotten all these freaking touchdowns. Best throwing, Jessup is throwing wishes are coming true. Orville will actually probably close in now that he's got pass on his runner. But yeah, Hui with 9 passes is doing pretty good. No interceptions from this week despite all those throwing. Abed, huge breakaway with murdering all those thralls with 7 casualties now. Best running, owned by the Dean now by quite a large margin, actually. Best throwing in terms of yardage, actually kind of interesting. So even though, and part of this could be only having, he's got accurate, whatever. 44 yards of passing is not very long, which means he's doing lots of short passes, which is pretty interesting. Whereas Orville has almost the same amount with less than half, or less than a third of the throws that Jessup does. Best killing, Pierce gets on the board here. God, I can't believe how many deaths we've had. It's ridiculous. I mean, we're all low-ish armor value, but come on. And yeah, Gutter Runner finally pulls ahead with best receiver. So pretty cool week in terms of stats. Things really pulling apart here. Lots of blowouts in some ways. Mostly the one really big blowout. Quick recap of my predictions for the week. I think that Zach will win. I think that I will win. I think that Andrew will win. I think this will be a tie. As always, I'm prepared to be wrong because I probably will be. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'll see you later.